Hello everyone and welcome back. In this video I'm going to show you how I made this cool diorama using pieces of foam to give texture and volume. Before I begin explaining, I want to point out that safety is very important. I've gotten cut many times in the past and I learned the hard way. So you see here I'm wearing these little sleeves on my fingers. They're known as finger cots. Think of them as fabric chainmails. They are incredible, and I have tested them. They really do work, protecting my fingers from getting injured. Avoid hurting yourself and practicing safety anytime you are working or practicing your hobby. If you are interested in these finger cots, I will leave a non-affiliated link on the description down below. To make those nice crystal type shapes, I like to slice and cut, and as you'll see here, I do things like slicing and snapping. And the advantage of using this type of foam, which you'll find in construction sites, the ones they use for insulation, or you could get them at Home Depot or any department store, is that they're so dense and thick that they're really good for creating the effects of concrete or anything that's rocky or solid. And it's one of my favorite materials to use for making dioramas and bases as well. So just to get those nice jagged lines and sharp edges, I cut a little bit and then just snap off the rest. Here's a little rock I made, just quick and easy, with nice little sharp edges. You can also use a flat blade. I call it a chisel blade, and whichever feels comfortable for you, you can just go in and do the same with this type of tool. A little tip: if you're gonna use this material and you're gonna cut foam, use a sharp knife, ideally a brand new knife. This way it can cut easier and it almost feels like you're cutting through butter. To create broken debris and piled up concrete, you can take random pieces and just snap them off and pile them on top of each other. They have that natural texture, and once painted, it looks really cool and realistic. To glue foam, I like to use Bob Smith Industries EPO foam. It dries crystal clear and it won't eat through your foam as you glue it or add it to it, like other products probably would. Once it's fully dried, it's very strong and solid and keeps everything together. Here's a little miniature just to give you a perspective how cool you can make a base using these random pieces. Other optional tools like this one, a stencil burner, or you can also get yourself foam cutters, which heat up when you connect them and you could just carve into the foam like I'm doing here. I'm currently working on a project where I'm using this technique to simulate cracked ice, and it is really effective. So if you want to expand your abilities and your knowledge on working with this material, you can pick yourself up a few foam cutters and just experiment and play around and see what type of shapes you can come up with. It's very easy, you just have to be careful you don't burn yourself. Here's the cracked ice, and it is really effective. The advantage to using these tools is you can manipulate how much you want, and in this case I want to make these things deeper, and it just makes it easier as opposed to trying to do it with a simple blade. Another safety tip: if you're using these hot tools, you see smoke coming out as I'm carving in, make sure you're in a ventilated area or something that won't allow you to inhale these things, because these materials are treated with harmful chemicals and activated when burnt. make your own tombstones. Here are a list of products you can use to coat your foam before painting. As always, here's a couple of examples, little dioramas I've made using foam as the base. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoy and see you next time.